Alright, hey there guys. So, a little while ago, KidArray10 requested that I make a tutorial on how to do a data persistence. Upon this question, I made my previous video, data store versus data persistence. Now, I'm not going to recommend using data persistence, but if you're genuinely curious, I'm going to go ahead in this video, as you guys can tell down below in the title, and go ahead and explain how to use a data persistence, and show you guys some of the features like SaveNumber, LoadNumber, that kind of concept. We're not going to be getting into anything too advanced, so we're going to go ahead and create a new place. Just going to call it data persistence tutorial. That's all we need it to be named. Alright, so first things first. Before you even save anything, you're going to need something to save to. In this case, we're going to make a variable. We're going to make a value in your player. We're not getting anything really advanced into this, so we're just going to go ahead and make it simple and get to the point so I can go ahead and teach you guys how to use some of the stuff about data persistence. Now, when I was making my create a one piece thing, I did something extremely similar to this. So we're just going to go ahead and create a function that runs when players join. Alright. So player added. There's not really much to say here. What we're going to do is we're going to connect the function player joined when you find a new player entering the game. So player is PLR. We have a variable for it. We're just going to call it player actually. So this is the new player joining. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make a variable. We're going to want to make a value inside of the player that we're going to save. So first we're going to want to check if the value is nil. So we're going to call this value, let's call it turtles. So this basically checks if it doesn't find turtles within the player, then it runs this local new, make it an integer value for easiness sake, and insert it into player equals turtles. We don't really have to set this considering it'll be preset to 0, but to be safe, we'll do this. Let's go ahead, go in game and test it. One thing about data persistence that I've gone over in my video about data store versus data persistence. Sorry if I'm talking really fast, I'm gonna slow down. It's that data persistence can't work locally in build mode. If you want to go ahead and test it, you're gonna have to go into, say, here. Play mode. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank here. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make a button that when you touch it, it increases the value. Alright, so anchored. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it so that when we have this button, when someone comes up and touches it, it basically it'll basically raise that value turtles within our player by 1 and print it to the output. Alright, now we could just find the part itself, but I'm gonna go ahead and make a check so it doesn't find like the wrong type of thing. Alright, so now we have our player. We know for sure this is our player. So local player part.parent.name. Actually, let's call it character because this is technically our character model. Alright, so we have our character. Now we want to find our player. Alright, now I haven't actually made a video about what find first child is yet. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I might make a future on it in a while. Make a video on it in the future, sorry. Alright, so now we have this. Alright, so local turtles equals... Alright, actually we should just have it check if player... If it finds turtles in the player, turtles, then local val is player first child turtles. Alright, so what this is going to do is it's going to look for turtles within our player, and if it finds turtles, that's what we mean by not nil. Nil means it's nothing, nada, zilch, not existence. And then we're going to take new value for turtles, and we're going to add 1 to it, and print the value of val. Alright, so let's go ahead, go in game and test that. We're not actually using data persistence as of yet, so we don't really have to worry about it. Alright, so now whenever we touch it, it goes up. Alright. Let's go on ahead and save that just to be on the safe side. Alright, so now what we're going to want to do is we're going to make it so it saves. So that's where we get into SaveNumber. So SaveNumber is something, it's a built-in function which can be run through your player. In this case, we've already found player. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make, every time it touches the button and it runs, we're going to want to save. So player SaveNumber. Now, if you were to say go into the what's it called? Context help, and you were to search SaveNumber, you'll see that you have 2 things here. So you're going to want a name and then whatever. So the name is what you're saving the name as. So in this case, we're just going to name it as turtle number. And what we want to save is the values of val. Values, the number of turtles. So every time we hit the button, it'll save the number of turtles we have. Alright, now even if we have the number saved, we still have to worry about loading. So that's when we get into LoadNumber. Now you're going to want to make sure these are the same. But in the case of this, with LoadNumber, you have what you're trying to load, the name of it, the string, and then what you're going to put what you loaded to. Here we have what we're saving it as, what we're naming it, and then here's what we're saving itself. So we name it named turtle number, saving integer this value here. So it means we have turtle number is the corresponding string within our data persistence for whatever we saved at this point in time. Now, so long as it works, whenever we try to call this number, we should receive val.value as it was last saved. So here, it works as the point that we're loading turtle number again, correct? Now, if it works for sure, we have our value here. With SaveNumber, it saves our value amount to this string. Next, once we rejoin, we'll load that string and find the corresponding value and make the value corresponding to it the amount that we loaded. So let's go ahead and try this. Now, I'm not 100% sure this will work on our first try, so please note that might not happen. I'm not entirely sure if you guys are going to be able to see the output, so I'm going to hope you guys can. I might focus down my little window on it so you guys can see it. Just so you guys kind of have like proof that it's working. So, gonna give it a minute to load in, and we'll see. Yeah, one big thing I just forgot. I realized I forgot. So, this is the big thing about data persistence. You can't try to access and load data until it's ready to be used. I haven't used data persistence in a while, so I forgot that. So every player has a value, a Boolean value within their player called wait for data ready. What this basically means is if you try to access it before the data is ready and the Boolean's checked to true, you're going to run into an error and your script's going to break. So what you typically have to do is you have to run the player wait for data built-in function. Basically, this will just wait till it's a yield until kind of concept. You wait till it's true, so you have data. So we're gonna go ahead and touch this. All right, you guys can see the number going up down here. I'm gonna resize my screen. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, now as you guys can see, as I touch it, my number goes up. So every time I touch it, it runs a save. So we're gonna go ahead and rejoin, and it should load again. All right, play. Sorry about the whole little view. I just kind of want to leave it in the same exact spot, so we don't have to rearrange it. All right, we're back in. Go ahead, open this up, and of course, okay. Alright, sorry. So I think I made a mistake on my part with the load. So I'm going to go ahead and try a different way. So I'm going to go ahead and make a variable for this, see if that works. And then just make it so that values that should work. Not 100% sure right now anymore, to be honest. So please excuse some mistakes on my behalf. Alright, here we go. Alright, now it's working. Alright, so we have our number here. Go ahead and get it to 26. So I'm going to go ahead and rejoin. Alright. So as you guys see, the number saved here. Sorry about this slight mistake. It's my mistake on my part. I haven't really used data persistence in a while, so I had to quickly refresh myself on it. I was bound to make a mistake, but it's fine. It happens. Everyone makes mistakes. So I have a few minutes left before I end this video, so I'm going to go ahead and explain some of the things that you can do with data persistence that you can do with data persistence, basically. I have covered all this in my previous video on data store versus data persistence, so if you guys want to go check that out, it has a lot more in-depth detail, especially on data store. So, with data persistence, you can create a saving mechanism where you can save your data so people can rejoin a game and continue where they left off. It's desirable in a lot of games where you don't want to lose progress, and it's a game that you want to spend a lot of time in. You can see this in an RPG game where you run in, you level up, you kill monsters, you get your gold for doing the quests and all that good stuff. So you go to save and then you leave. It used to be before data persistence came out. You'd go into a game, you do all this stuff, everything you do, you leave, but then when you come back, you didn't have any of your stats and everything was gone. You had to restart. Since data persistence and data store came out, you can see a lot of things happening with a lot more frequently than you usually think. So, I only have 30 seconds left, so I'm not really going to get too in-depth. If you guys want to learn more about it and what you can do with it, feel free to check out my video, Data Stores versus Data Persistence. And that's really all there is for this video. This just basically showed you the save number and load number. Save string is pretty much the same exact thing, except you replace number with string. If you want to learn a little more in depth about that, you can check the wiki. They have some nice articles on there. So thank you for watching. I hope this helped. I'm not really going to recommend using data persistence anymore since Data Store is out. So, as I said, if you like this video, leave a thumbs up, drop a comment on what you think. Not already subscribed, check out my channel, hit that subscribe button.